gentlemen, welcome along to a slightly later than billed. Don't worry, we do have an excuse for it. The edition of the Third and Long podcast. It is, of course, Victory Monday for most of this podcast as well. I am Nutridiga's favourite son, except for Darcy Blake, Shane Harris. Above me is our beautiful baby Hope. To my right is the teacher extraordinaire, Mr. Philip Perrins, and the top corner, Mr. Fine Wine himself, Mr. Oliver Butler Henderson. Gentlemen, how are we doing on at 8:45 on a Monday night?
Yeah, we're slightly late, but you know, things happen. But yeah, another victory Monday for the Niners and the Ravens is always good.
Yeah, boy.
Not sure what Mr. Henderson's doing with his many loser Mondays, but I mean, there's not going to be a victory Monday for all of them next week. Well, victory Tuesday, in fact, because it's the big game on Monday on the big day.
The biggest game on Monday.
But how are you, lads?
It's going to be a tie.
I'd be happy with that. That's fine. But yesterday we drew a Liverpool. I'd be happy with that. That's fine.
No, yeah, it's Monday, isn't it? It's the last week before Christmas. Yeah, Patriots. Hey.
How's my old buddy, Mr. Christmas Jumper Perrins in the corner there?
I am great. I am very, very great. School has winding down for the Christmas period, and I'm feeling very Christmas. I love grandparents. Thank you ever so much for this jumper. It arrived today along with a different hat that I'm not wearing currently because it's currently downstairs on my dining room table. Thank you very much. You know what? I'll wear it on Thursday's show for our Plonkcast.
For the much publicised Plonkcast.
Much public. I've had a few questions been sent to me in my DMs about just a few things that they want to ask the pod on.
Whoa! Now, who's sliding in your DMs?
Oh, just general fans, and it's actually most of educational Twitter, so it's not actually that interesting. So it's just a few NFL-based questions that people are hoping to have answered by the four of us on Thursday's show. But yeah, I'm grand. This was actually knitted by a grandparent, by the way. Like, it's not like
that's really nice.
It's banging. Thank you
really
ever
nice.
so much, Granny Jean.
Nice.
Do you think Granny Jean watches the show, Phil?
She doesn't. She knows how to play Candy Crush on her iPad, and that's about as far as it goes. Try trying to explain to her what a podcast is. She will just be like, "Well, I can just put the radio on instead. Why would I need to listen to the podcast?" Thank you, Granny. And she also wouldn't know what we're talking about. Let's be honest. Like,
it's true. No. Well, we don't know what we're talking about half the time either. So you know, but I digress.
We say with such confidence and conviction that people just take it in.
They do.
Let's roll on to our Week 15 roundup. We'll start off with the Chargers' capitulation to the Las Vegas Raiders. Absolutely destroyed. You always want to cover the Raiders.
How bad are how bad are the Chargers that they get battered 63-21 by a team that got shut out the previous week? They got beaten that badly that they fired their coach directly after the game. Baby said quite a lot of times that, you know, he's been on the hot seat and it was inevitable this was going to happen. But the Raiders, I had the Raiders down as, I mean, I always want them to win and I always predict them to win. But like, I didn't think the Raiders were this good, considering that the previous weekend you had Devontae Adams almost crying on the sidelines to him being completely jovial, you know, like on TV. And I got to give him massive props to Max Crosby. Not only did he play a fantastic lights out game again, my vote for defensive MVP of the year, but did any of you see his post game interview
with
he wrapped this time?
So like, yeah, well, like he comes on to like the studio bit on the field, and he's shirtless. You can see all his tattoos, and he's got like tattoos of like Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, like these all great sports figures. And he's just sitting there, right? He's just sitting there with a fat cigar, and like he's just puffing away. And he did this insane smoke where like he blows it out, then inhales it instantly. It was so cool. Again, he just goes up. Like, if the fact that he's just a crap rap artist. I would love Max Crosby much more than I already do, but huge for the Raiders, especially since they've come under rightful criticism again. for how mismanaged their organization has been. And the Antonio Pierce roller coaster went from high to dipping quite low to on another high again. I don't think this is going to carry on through to the Chiefs game next week. I think it'll be a lot closer game. But wow, absolutely wow, gents. Like, it was wonderful waking up Friday morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Los Angeles Chargers are a mess. I don't know how Brandon Sudley managed to keep that job for so long. Mr. Hope, you are an advocate for him to be sacked. You have been for the last 18 months, I think. Give us a little more information on that, my friend.
I just like to clarify that when we did the hot seat, the assignment before the show, before the season started, 3 of my 5 have already gone. But when my
Well, you know
dad,
what you're on about.
I know, this surprised me more than anyone else. When my dad told me the score on Friday morning, I didn't actually believe him when he first started. I had to check it myself. But yeah, Raiders pulled out. Chargers are a mess, and they need to reset. And they've totally cleared house with both the GM and the coach going,
And the
the
offensive play call, I think, as well.
and the carousel starts to spin.
Guys, one thing I will say, my quick 2 cents on this game, something that did go under the radar was Easton Stick's first NFL start for the Chargers. He still threw for 3 touchdowns and 257 yards. For a normal game, that would be an incredible achievement, especially in your first NFL start. It's just a shame the whole team sort of capitulated 63 points to the Raiders. And did anybody see the picture of, I believe it was Gerald Everett? I think they were down at like 60 odd points, and he was like, first down, and you're like,
No,
Eckler.
Sorry, Austin Eckler, my apologies. But I was like, what? Yeah, unbelievable. The Raiders put up 63 points against anybody.
Yeah, the Saturday games were some really good games, to be fair. Vikings Bengals was 27-24 to the Bengals, with Jake Browning at over 324 yards and a brilliant touchdown grab by T. Higgins.
Woo!
Yeah. The Steelers, despite going 13-0 up, went on to lose 13 to Gardner Minshew's Indianapolis Colts. And the Broncos had another blowout defeat to the rejuvenant Detroit Lions, 42-17. Anything you would like to mention, gentlemen, on them 3 games?
The Vikings never should have cut Jake Browning.
Did you see that when he literally screamed at the camera, "That's what you get for fucking cutting me"? Yeah.
Brilliant.
Hence the name of the show this week. You shouldn't have cut me, yeah. Detroit,
the first cut is the deepest, to be fair.
Always. Detroit are back, shall we say. That was a resounding performance against an informed Denver Broncos.
Their goal line stops. I think that was the one of the one. I think it was at the end of the first half, and they were. I think the Broncos were on the 1, and they stopped them all 4 times. And you literally come off, and Peyton literally full on in Russell Wilson's face, going like screaming at him. I don't know if you saw any of that. Part of me wants to say it's because the Broncos played badly, but they put 17 points up, and I don't think Wilson played that badly. I just think the Lions were just aggressive in a positive way on all sides of the ball, and they just blew them out. I mean, it was a kind of boring first quarter, and then poof, Lions put up 21, and then they put up another 7 and another 14 in the fourth. So it was very much explosive after a kind of like a steady start. I don't think the Broncos played badly. I just think the Lions were just better.
Yeah. Gardner Minshew's 30 points unanswered, Mr. Harris.
Thank you very much. Yes, so the house that Minshew built was rocking on Saturday night with a MVP performance from the man himself, the meme himself, Hollywood Gardner Minshew. 3 touchdown passes. No picks this week. Well done. 215 yards as the Colts beat those horrible towel twirling people. 30 points to 13. As anybody knows, it's well documented. I love a good Steelers loss. I really do. And especially when they couldn't kick out of the mighty Gardner Minshew leg drop and he got the 1, 2, 3. Because, Philip, when you are NWO, you are NWO.
For life.
Thank you very much.
That's the second time I've had to hear that today.
I know.
Good, I'm glad.
Mr. Pro, happy Christmas to you all, to yourself, my friend. Please
Yeah,
come and
Merry
join us on
Christmas,
our
Dave.
Thursday show with a bottle of something, my friend.
Are we?
Merry
We
Christmas,
can
Dave.
give away bottles.
A bottle
No.
of plonk, gentlemen. A bottle of
Yeah.
plonk.
Oh, yes.
As we roll on to the Saturday games, Chicago found another way to lose again. This team cannot find the win. Yes, they won 5 games this season, but they always find different ways to lose. Despite Joe Flacco throwing 3 picks, he threw more picks than he did touchdowns. That said something in that game. Njoku decided to pull out of the leap and almost got castrated by one of the Bears players. That was quite interesting. The Texans and the Titans lose with 2 seconds left of overtime, with Case Keenum's first start in, I've lost count how many games now. Will Levis
I
went
didn't even
down.
know Case Keenum was starting. What happened to Davis Mills?
Yeah, I've
They
almost
just realised. Yeah. I mean, Case Keenum is remembered for 1 play, and that's it. And that is the miracle in Minneapolis. And that's like his career highlight.
Yeah. CJ Stroud went down. They didn't have CJ Stroud. They didn't have Nico Collins. They didn't have Tank Garden, yet the Texans still managed to grab out a win. How good
Tank
is
Gun, Tank
D'Amico
Dell's brother.
Ryans? Let's talk to these 2 gentlemen, the Niner boys, because they love a D'Amico Ryans.
Oh, D'Amico Ryans is the driving force behind this Texans renaissance. 100%.
They are now level with the Jags, top of that conference. Jags, Coltons, and Texans are all at 8-6.
I think the Texans are going to win the conference. Trevor Lawrence has got a concussion and is on 1 leg. Will Levis is confirmed about half an hour ago that he's got a high ankle sprain. CJ Stroud is possibly back this week. But
Yeah.
so it's sort of the quarterback of the crocked QBs, isn't it?
In it.
If they win the division, is D'Amico Ryans Coach of the Year?
Yes. Because I believe the other team in that conference is the Indianapolis Colts, who also have a crocked quarterback.
Yes.
And a lot of
Yeah, but
a lot of other
yeah.
plonk.
Yeah, the Jets defense didn't stop the Dolphins at all. Where the Dolphins put another goose egg up on the Jets with a 30-0 win.
Who says the offense doesn't roll without Tyreek?
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we've said so many times in this podcast that the Jets defense is Super Bowl caliber defense. It's just shown how much work they've had to do this season. They are just knackered now. They're done. What are you guys thinking?
Agree.
Yeah, it's actually quite upsetting how it's ended. I was saying to you guys earlier that I've actually felt sorry for Zach Wilson the last couple of weeks, because since being dropped, then being put back in, and then being dropped again, and then being told he's going to be traded, but they're going to put him back in again. He had a great game last weekend, and I thought he played really solid on the week yesterday as well. But like, it's just like massive questions need to be looked at. 1, Hackett with the offense. 2, recruitment. 3, training on the O-line. And 4, what is going on with that O-line, because he wasn't getting any time. Now, we love to throw a bit of shade at Zach Wilson and quarterbacks when they constantly get sacked. We can look at lots of different things around. Is Zach Wilson any good? Does he hold onto the ball too well? Is he a pick machine? But we very rarely take into account how massively responsible the offensive line actually are in terms of how good a quarterback can be. And he is not getting any time to do his reads, adjust, extend plays, look at options. Like he's not getting any time whatsoever, and I'm just feeling really sorry for him. That I don't think it's going to be cursed, but I think wherever he goes to next, he's going to go to probably a medium to good program and sit and be a pretty good backup QB. And that's kind of how I think it's going to go for him. But it's just really sad because there's some really good players in that Jets defense as well as offense. We were talking about this earlier, DJ. We don't think he's going to come back before Christmas now that they're officially out.
No,
Yeah,
no need to risk him.
From what I understood, it was Rodgers is going to go if they beat the Dolphins and are still in contention, but now they're not in contention. He's not going to go. I believe they have until Wednesday to activate him onto the roster, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. It's ridiculous. If they decide to go, let's activate him, and he aggravates it, that's his career done. It's his career done. Yes, he's 39, 38, 39. He's just had a serious injury. Why would you risk it? Give yourself another 6 months recuperation and go again. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Zach Wilson went down with concussion. It's a result of the poor O-line play of that one, isn't it?
Yeah. But here's the thing. Did he have a concussion? Did he actually?
I saw it. I was concentrating majority on the Patriots game for obvious reasons. And I saw earlier on in red zone that he went down and he got up and he was holding his hand, his throwing hand, quite a bit. And it's almost like we don't really want to put Trevor Siemian in because, well, it's Trevor Siemian. But he's, I agree with Phil. Yeah. I feel so sorry.
He went back to the locker room and it was reported that he had a hydration issue. And then that was about 30 seconds before the half. And then he didn't come out of the second half and they were like, he has a concussion. I was like, did he fall over in the locker room?
He took a lot of hits in that game. A lot of hits. Ollie, you paid a bit of attention to probably one of the better games in the earlier window for the Bucks against the Packers.
Bucks Packers. So first off, the Bucks won. I was the only one to predict that. Just put that out there. And the Underbaker, as our friends Phil and Shane like to call him, is having not a good season, and he backed that up again with a 4-touchdown, 381-yard game. Despite being sacked 5 times, he was still able to throw 4 touchdowns in a perfect passer rating game.
That's a big game for Johnny Manziel 2.0.
Yeah, Rashad White actually showed up for the first time this season with 89 yards on the ground, and Chase Edmonds getting 3 carries for 13. Godwin, 155 yards, but was unable to get a touchdown off 10 receptions, which was quite a lot considering tends to not be Mayfield's go-to guy. Mike Evans scored another touchdown, but actually had quite a quiet game with only 57 yards. A quiet game for him anyway. On the other side, Jordan Love threw 2 touchdowns for 284 yards. Aaron Jones, I'm surprised he actually got 53 yards because every time I looked at him, he seemed to be being stopped at the line of scrimmage. I'll tell you who looked very good though for the Packers. Tucker Kraft, 4 receptions, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. I feel like him and Luke Musgrave next season could be a very good 1-2 punch in the tight end. And Tucker even tried to hurdle a guy and got flipped. But
castrated.
altogether, it was a good game, and it was a good performance for the Bucks. And I think they're probably in pole position to win that division now.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the probably the better game in the early window to the probably the worst game with the lowest attendance. Even 45 cents, you couldn't buy a seller ticket.
Yeah, I
Atlanta-
couldn't believe that.
Unbelievable. I can't believe, like, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's raining. Yeah, I get that. It's only a bit of water. You'll be fine. Why wouldn't you go and see your team? It's not as even as if, like, it's a cost issue. This close to Christmas. It's 45 cents. I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment, but it's a case of, why wouldn't you go see your team for less than a price of a cup of coffee or a pint or a burger in the stands or whatever? I mean, yeah, your team may be a little bit rubbish. Maybe your team may be a little bit rubbish, but at the end of the day, they're still your team. You know,
Yeah.
I had to watch that shower shit draw 0-0 yesterday. They're still my team. You know what I mean? You follow your team no matter what.
You'd probably enjoy the coffee more, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably.
You're probably
More pleasurable
right.
experience. It lasts longer too.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta need a quarterback. Tampa Bay, if I was you, I would be re-signing Baker Mayfield instantly because you've got a quarterback issue sorted there. He is.
Can we just
clear.
talk about that Desmond Ridder interception for a minute and just have a moment of silence for his career?
Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean,
why?
Ollie, I remember you being quite high on him coming out of the draft, but surely
It's not time to
even
come
you've
down
got
now.
to give up. Surely even you've got to give up on him now.
I gave up on him at the end of last season, to be fair. He came out of college as the most winningest quarterback for Cincinnati Bearcat. No, Bearcats? Is it Bearcats?
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, he hasn't shown that form. Yes. Is it Arthur Smith and his play calling?
Yes.
Probably
Yes.
got something to do with that as well. But I said earlier on, I've seen Mac throw some bad picks this year. I saw Zappy for a shocking one yesterday. That was as bad as any of them. He could have even ran to get that first down. He didn't even need to make the throw. He could have still ran next in, ran that in, stepped out of bounds, stopped the clock, kick the field goal, take it to 10 points, and then Panthers would need to go for a touchdown. And you wouldn't have won that. You would have still been in a chance to win your division. Now you're blowing it apart now.
So David said Baker could be the next Pats QB.
Yes, if Bill's not there, I don't think that he would Bill too well. Too much
That's
of
what
a
I was gonna
personality.
Yeah.
Look
I'm
at
not sure if you guys have been following the lads from the Falcons UK.
yeah.
But
Go on.
their Twitter was quite entertaining last night during and just after the game.
Yeah, they're friends of the show.
What was some of the things they were saying?
Mainly that Arthur Smith needs to go and how embarrassed they were by losing to the Panthers.
And
I mean,
they wouldn't even pay 45 cents to watch that game.
Yeah.
I had that pop up. One of my friends on Twitter as well, who was also a self-confessed Falcons fan, said exactly the same thing to me. Ollie, just really quickly before we move on the subject of Bill and a potential new Pats quarterback. You know that I'm quite high on Justin Fields. I know he's not a Belichick quarterback, but if Bill's not there, and do you think if they could reach out and get Fields, do you think he would be a good fit in New England, or do you think they should basically back the Brinks truck up and get Minshew Mania?
Right, I'm going to put my GM cap on here.
Okay.
I would not take a third round QB or third year QB who's got 2 years worth of a deal. Why would you go through the same problem when you've got Mac there? You would keep Mac. Knows the venue, knows the area, knows the team, knows the offense. I still think Mac's going to be a really good fit in LA down in Sean McVay's offense. Sit behind Stafford for a year. Stafford retires. Boom. Thank you very much. You've got a ready made quarterback, and he will step up. Justin Fields has a lot of wow moments, a lot of good moments. I mean, he put the 49ers defense on the floor last year, which we all love watching.
We do.
But I don't think they would take another third-year quarterback. I think they'll go after one of these, like Bo Mix, Drake Mayer. The one I really want is Jalen Daniels or
Davis,
something like that.
Davis said he wants Daniels. But can we just back this up a second? That Shane said, or shall they take Minshew Mania? Do you really want Gardner Minshew in New England, Ollie?
Yeah, I would love that because I would love Ollie to jump on the bandwagon with us.
Hey, don't New England want to win? Because if they want to win, they'll take Minshew.
Brother.
They will not take Minshew. Minshew will stay in Indianapolis, and Minshew will start for Indianapolis next year.
He won't. Richardson will start for Indianapolis next year. I'm willing to wager these two that Minshew won't have a starting job next year.
Do you know what? I'll stick a fiver on that with you.
I will.
Mark this moment right now. I will stick a fiver on with you. The Minshew starts the first game for the Colts next year.
I'll put £4.50 on that for you. Yeah.
£9.50.
I'll take both of them.
The price of a pint in Bath, £9.50.
Yeah, about that.
Matt Judon's about to have a nice little income towards him because of his tweets.
He will. It's like when Ryan Babel tweeted that Howard Webb with the United shirt on.
Yeah.
There was some questionable calls that favoured Kansas last night.
Just that one night, or just for a long time now?
I keep an eye on Kansas because obviously my eldest is Kansas City fan. But I paid extra attention last night. There was one where Sky Moore pass interference on Sky Moore. I don't think our DB actually held him.
I don't think the DB even touched him, did he?
No. The offside which ruled out Hunter Henry's touchdown, I'm still watching that and I still can't work it out. I swear it was a jump by the DB, by the D-line first. It's one of them ones. There was a couple other ones. There was a Kittle where he fell over and tried to get a flag, and it's like, not Kittle, sorry, Kelsey. It's like,
I was about to say, Kittle plays for us.
Yeah, I know. I got my K's and my tight ends mixed up. Come on, you know
it's
what
late now. It's past his bedtime. It's late now.
It's a Butler Henderson trait. Okay. When we get old, we go around the whole family before you get to the actual name.
When we get old.
It happens to us, all right. Our defense again stepped up.
It's been a year and a half, and you're still getting Shane and Phil mixed up.
It's true.
I know.
Well,
if the banners on
Welsh accent.
You sound like I can't say what you sound like on the air.
Steady on.
Kelsey.
Dave, just quickly, Dave. I said about Judon, worth every penny of that fine.
Do a GoFund for him, Dave? Rashee Rice is a great wide receiver. He's going to be a brilliant wide receiver in this league.
Oh, yeah.
He is now Mahomes' go-to guy. You've seen that in the last couple of weeks. Kelsey, he was at fault for the pick. I don't know how. I mean, Dalton Schultz pick against or grab against Tennessee early on in the game was brilliant. But Kelsey, you're normally really good at that. And there was one at the end zone where he kind of like grabbed up thin air as well. Kelsey is got to stop entertaining his lady, shall we say? And
did you see his lady in the box when I think there was a DPI call that wasn't given against Kelsey? And did you see her? She jumped up and reacted the same way as any blue-collar Kansas City fan would react. She said things that wouldn't go down too well on a Disney Channel, let me tell you.
Quickly, Dave, Rashee Rice is not related to Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice's son is actually in this year's draft.
Yeah, he is.
We all saw what a certain Taylor Swift said. But did you also, apparently, Taylor was a bit offended that Travis did not attend her 32nd birthday party this.
Why? Why? I should message you. Got to call things like that, man.
Because he's hyper focused on football.
He could have popped in and show his
Go on
face on a
then,
pint
Phil.
and
Phil's got
Sorry.
something to say.
No. I think that's slightly misleading because the article that I read as well said the same thing about Travis Kelce didn't attend his girlfriend's birthday party, and then it went on to add underneath that it's mandatory for NFL players to attend all practices. It's not like he could just skip a practice, to go and celebrate with his girlfriend. He is a professional athlete. That's his job, and he is one of
And
the
wasn't
main
he flying
stars.
up to New England on her birthday anyway?
Yeah, and again, it's his job. He is one of the main parts of that Kansas City team, not just offense. He is probably their second biggest star.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just a big nothing burger, to be fair, because it's trying to make a mountain out of such a small molehill. Professional athlete has to actually attend sporting practice.
Shano?
Yeah, Baby Hope might know a little bit about this. Not being a basketball fan at all. I used to add a little look, dip my toe in when I was younger, but it wasn't for me. Dennis Rodman, a part of the very much vaunted Chicago. You know where I'm going with this? Very much vaunted Chicago Bulls dynasty in the 90s. I can't think of the coach's name, but I know he's is it Phil Jackson?
Phil Jackson.
Baby Hope? Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson, mandatory, had to attend the players had to attend every practice. Dennis Rodman was turning up on WCW Monday Night Show every Monday when he should have been practicing. And they still won all those championships. Yes, Philip.
All right, for a start, comparing the quota of the NBA and the NFL are completely different. Comparing the quota of the NBA in the 90s to 2023 is completely different. And the biggest thing is, Dennis Rodman is not Travis Kelce. Like, Dennis Rodman used to dress up as in women's clothes. He attended one press conference. Actually, he attended his book release in a wedding dress. He did lots of crazy stuff. He appeared naked in Madonna's textbook, and he was dating Carmen Electra as well. So Travis Kelce is not the same personality. And again, the Chicago Bears sued the living daylights out of him. I think they even sued him for how much. Sorry. The Bulls sued him for almost as much as what WCW were paying him anyway. So it was more of a vanity project. Yeah. And he also turned down WWF to go to WCW because he wanted to work with Hogan and not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I didn't know either. Anyway, do you mind if I'm going to say my favorite Patriots player actually managed to get on the scoreboard this week as well? Anybody on the podcast knows you ruined it for me. My dad's name is, of course, Kevin Harris. Well, so yeah, nice to see him get on the score sheet.
For his first touchdown in the NFL.
It's nice. Really? I thought he scored last year.
No, he scored pre-season, but I don't think he scored.
Okay.
Actually. So obviously the Giants lost out to the New Orleans Saints in a 24-6 win. Tommy DeVito's winning streak has come to a dramatic end. Although he did go down with a bit of concussion as well after a big hit by...
His man crushed Derek Carr threw for 3 touchdowns and 218 yards as well.
I wouldn't say man crush, but I respect the eyeliner.
Gentlemen, talk us through you giving up 29 points to the Cardinals.
Okay. Everybody keeps bringing this up, that we gave up 29 points to the Cardinals and over 200 rushing yards. Our 2 best
200 rushing yards. Oh my God.
Were both injured.
Yeah.
You're going to get smoked on Monday night.
No, not when Hargrave and Armstead are back.
Yeah, Hargrave and Armstead
Fishes
against the Raiders. You just lost one of your premier running backs.
Wait, Raiders? You're playing the Raiders Monday, so you don't even know.
The Ravens have just lost one of their best 2 running backs because
It was bad as well.
And every Ravens running back seems to get a season-ending injury at some point.
Yeah,
it's like an initiation.
Sorry, that was a lot funnier than I had any intent to be.
I'll give him that one because that's quite quick for him.
Well, why is this
Called
for me?
Squirrel 20 past 9.
This was called back earlier. This is good for you.
We're not doing this now. We talk about this on Thursday's podcast.
Yeah.
Bonk.
Anyway,
Bonk.
I was talking about the Niners, wasn't I?
Yes.
So I think we're
You're gonna put that on your gravestone. I was talking about the Niners, wasn't I?
that was pretty good for you.
Oh, I
Anyway.
broke. I'm sorry, boys.
That was So with
Love
those two
that.
defenders back, I think our defense will be a lot better. The offense clicked. McCaffrey 3 touchdowns, Debo 2. We scored our first defensive touchdown of the season with Javarius Ward's first pick of the 2. And apart from the run defense, it was a pretty complete game.
Seriously,
He was
that's got
gone. When he
first
picked
touchdown
that ball, he
in
was
15
gone.
weeks.
Yeah, it was our first defensive touchdown of the season.
And you call yourself a good defense? We've got more than that.
Yeah, but that's because you need to, because your offense doesn't score.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have scored
well,
actual touchdowns, Ollie.
As well, we've scored more defensive touchdowns than offensive touchdowns. Yeah,
I think McCaffrey scored more TDs than your entire team. So
Probably,
That's
mate.
crazy.
Probably. You're probably right there. Mr. Perrins, would you like to add to Mr. Hopes?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to add on to the back when you were just like criticizing the fact that we haven't had many like pick sixes, the 49ers excel on shutting down teams to the point where they go 3 and out. And
What's that?
I 3 and out.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, sorry. So when a defense is above passable, they tend to like stop offenses from scoring on them. So because our run and pass defense is absolutely insane, we haven't really had many pick sixes purely because we don't really allow teams to get the ball away. And even when we've had interceptions, it's been middle of the field where like you've had Greenlaw and Fred Warner, who is just phenomenal. Just picking them up left, right, and center. And again, I agree with you. Travarius Ward was brilliant, and I don't really think that's much of a concern because the Cardinals seem to play well against us anyway. Again, it's a divisional matchup. Just because we turn the Rams over every single year, the Seahawks try and turn up. The Cardinals often turn up against us as well. I predicted us to win, but I didn't predict us to steamroll them. Yes, we did put 42 points on them, so in a way we did steamroll them. But we looked pretty complete. And as I was saying to you guys earlier, because our offense is now capable of scoring at any time, the defense doesn't feel as much pressure. So when the defense aren't playing as well, it's not that kind of like self put down and going, oh Jesus Christ, we're the reason why we're not winning. It's like we haven't been able to stop them this time, but right, Brock's got it. Christian's got it.
Let's also
Debo's got
remember that their last touchdown was in garbage time against our 2s.
Yeah, because Donald played. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the most mental facts about this game, and I couldn't think of a better word than mental. Being a Valley's boy, not educated, you see. The Cardinals put up 436 yards of total offense against the Niners. That's unheard of. Unless the fact that the Niners have lost 3 games, but considering how bang average, for lack of a better term, the Cardinals are, who would have said that?
Again, it's the rushing.
Yeah.
It was 202 pass yards as well.
Yeah, but 202 pass yards isn't that good.
Yeah, but you also have to think about
Against you, it is.
With your pass yards. Like if you again, not having our interior linemen, our starters, our pro ballers. Again, they're pro ball. They are literally some of our best players. We have the best D line in all the sports. Not having them there, which means that Young and Bosa are having to attack from the edge, which means there's more pressure on them in terms of them being blocked out the game because the inside of the defense is not there. So yeah, you can imagine that Kyler had more time in the pocket because he only has to worry about 2 people instead of 4. And if he's looking to pass anyway, well, Fred Warner's not going to blitz. Greenlaw's not going to blitz. Greg Hardy.
I will admit, I don't think Fred Warner had the best game of his career. He missed quite a few tackles.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that, at another point, maybe on Thursday, about the fact that the 49ers missed 16 tackles throughout the game, which is our highest of the season. So I know the last 4 games we've actually recorded upwards in the 10s of missed tackles, which is concerning because I think the tackling aspect of the defense is our biggest area that I'm concerned about. But I'm still fairly confident in, it's not going to be a walkover. I'm not predicting us to embarrass the Ravens like we did with the Eagles and the Cowboys. But I still think the 49ers are the best all-rounder team in this matchup.
I think the LA Rams need to be banned from having 5th-round picks. Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua are both 5th-round picks this year. And if it wasn't for a certain quarterback in Texas, they would probably be a very highly likely offensive rookies of the year.
I mean,
again, Kyron Williams,
we say that
2 yards.
We say that, but I reference Justin Jefferson and Justin Herbert.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very true. That the 20 points that Washington put up, again, it was in what we call garbage time. Garbage time even. The Rams have put the game to bed. It was 28 points to 20 win over the Commanders. Did anyone really expect the Buffalo Bills to have such a beatdown on Dallas last night?
I thought Buffalo would win, but not to that extent.
Phil, you had your hand up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did. The Cowboys have played their Super Bowl when they beat the Eagles. That was their Super Bowl of this season. I haven't been impressed with them at all. I mean, we absolutely thumped them. They've been beat. They haven't beaten, other than the Eagles, they haven't beaten a team that's over 500 or with a winning record. And they are just bullies. They're really good at beating bad teams up, like the like the Giants and the Commanders. Yeah, well done for beating them. They're bad anyway. But like when they've come up against anyone that's remotely good, that has a good run offense and a capable quarterback that's not going to melt under pressure, and have a defense that puts Dak under a mild amount of pressure, they have shown that they're not that great. And I think that they've peaked and they've got the loser's mentality that you can argue that, yeah, they're in the playoffs, well done them, but then they've just stopped contending. And that's just a loser's mentality. And I don't particularly rate Mike McCarthy. I mean, watch, the Cowboys now do really, really well and, win the Super Bowl. But like Mike McCarthy is not, I don't rate him as a head coach. And I don't think this team is that good despite their record. And any talk of, Dak Prescott being an MVP candidate should have died a slow, painful death yesterday after Josh Allen embarrassed him and showed him what a real quarterback looks like.
Baby Hope. You look like a 7th grader going, me.
Miss, I need a wee. He was like, ah.
So I meant to reference this earlier, but I forgot. But I saw a tweet earlier today saying that Mike McCarthy, who I also don't rate and think is holding Dallas and Dak back, is actually in line for a contract extension at the end of the year.
Wow.
And McCarthy.
I say it's Cowboys at 10-4. No, Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy, sorry, yeah.
It's Cowboys at 10-4. Even with the fact that none of us can understand how they're 10-4. But like Phil said, the only good team they beat is the Eagles. When they come up against even a middling team like the Bills, and we all know the Bills are on the same level as the Chiefs, they haven't been performing to their full potential. Right? You right, Mr. BH?
Yeah, I know they played us last season. I was getting this season mixed up. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, they haven't been playing to their full potential. The Bills and the Chiefs should be Super Bowl contenders, but they're middling franchises at the moment. And even the Bills beat the Cowboys. But again, like we said earlier on, and we've said now in our group chats, and we've said on Andy Davis's show, by the way, that's where we were earlier on, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we were late. Thank you, Andy. And yeah, we've said the Cowboys are in the playoffs now. They're not too bothered about any regular season games now. They're taking their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Couple of tweets from Rappaport. One we'll talk about when we talk about tonight's game. The other one is Patriots signing Bucks running back Keyshawn Vaughn to their practice squad, so nothing news. I mean, Dallas's defeat are to Cardinals. Well, they 28-16. Josh Dobbs revival tour. To you boys, the Niners, and they also lost to the Eagles and the Bills. They've beaten Seahawks, Commanders, Panthers, Giants, Rams, Chargers, us, as in New England, New York, and New York. And they put 70 points on the New York games in the first 2 weeks. as you
Hardly a
said,
murderer's
as Phil
row
said,
teams.
they do bully teams.
In
James
cricket, they call that a flat track bully.
I learn something new every day.
James Cook, 200 scrimmage yards, 200 plus scrimmage yards. I put on our group chat before half time who my player of the week was going to be. He was superb, and Dallas could not stop that run game at all, which is a worry going into playoffs because you need to be able to stop that run game. You need to be able to stop that run game.
Dave is totally wrong about what he thinks the Super Bowl is going to be because he's got.
I've always liked you, Dave. Have I told you that? I've always liked you.
Well, there's two people that think Lions are going to be the Super Bowl, and the other one's sat upstairs, and I'm starting to more and more agree with her.
Which one are we talking about?
Kelly, not Ella.
I wasn't sure if Ella
Is beloved.
Because obviously Ella.
Well, I think Ella obviously does, but I don't think she'll quite understand yet that the Super Bowl. She might do, you never know, but no. Shado, lead us over to your beatdown of your rivals.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. BH. That's the thing about being one of the best teams in football. You're going to be on prime time quite a lot, which is murder for us UK fans. So yeah, 20+1 this morning, UK time game. UK time. This game kicked off, and I watched it, and I was
tired.
I don't know. Yeah, tired. Yeah, obviously, but I don't know about us. This next 4 games are crucial for our season. Obviously, we put the Jags to bed. We will talk about Christmas night's colossal encounter in depth on Thursday, and after that, it's Miami and the Steelers. So these next 4 games are going to be quite a test for the roster. But yeah, we still beat the Jags 23 points to 7. One of the bad things about it, Keaton Mitchell tore his ACL. He's out for the season. It was a very horrific looking incident. It was one of those things. It wasn't unnecessary. It was one of those couldn't be helped hazards of the game type thing. But yeah, best wishes, Keaton Mitchell. Hopefully we'll see you back next year, even stronger. And Isaiah Likely is stepping into Mark Andrews' shoes as a very reliable tight end. He scored again this week, and I thought he played really well. Lamar even got picked, which was a horrible pick. But then Trev was playing his new role as Mr. Fumble. I'd little play on Mr. Tumble for all you parents out there. He fumbled the ball. Arthur Millay picked it up, and that helped us out massively. Gus Edwards, all about the Gus bus. He got on the scoreboard as well. Jacksonville's sole touchdown was a pass from Trev to Jamal Agnew, and Jamal Agnew was open. He was on his own all day long. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was blown coverage, busted coverage, but he was on his own, and he walked in. But as I said, Zay Flowers' quiet game, only 2 targets. OBJ had 3 targets. Nelson Aguilar had 1 target and didn't make the catch. I think Jacksonville now are 8-6. It'll be touch and go whether they get in the playoffs. But by means of the Ravens winning this game last night, we have clinched the playoffs now. The next 2 steps are clinching the AFC North and clinching the number 1 seed in the AFC. But as I said, it's a tough road ahead.
Yeah, it was nice of you to join the party. Just a quick thing. If you can't wait until Thursday to hear us discuss this game, look out for the Across the Pod podcast coming out on Wednesday, where we discuss this game with Andy Davis.
This monster of a game on Christmas night. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Ollie?
With Keaton Mitchell going down with his ACL injury, does that mean Lamar could take back his RB1 role?
You're just like a child, isn't it? You're just like a dog with a bone. You wouldn't let it go. No, we've elevated Melvin. I'm telling you why you're wrong. We've elevated Melvin Gordon from the practice squad now to replace Keaton Mitchell. But Keaton Mitchell looked like something. He was an explosive back. He looked, he was electrifying. He just looked so good. But again, this is only his first season. Undrafted rookie, only his first season. We've still got Justice Hill and Gus Edwards, as well as and Melvin Gordon as well. Yeah, 23-7. The boys rolled into TK's backyard and won. Monday might be a different story. It might not. It remains to be seen.
Melvin Gordon has the Le'Veon Bell bug, doesn't he? Totally disappeared
Go
after
on.
holding out. Totally disappeared after holding out.
Yeah.
He's going to be RB3. It's going to be, insurance.
Rolling on to tonight's game.
When Dave's saying what happened to that other running back was meant to be good, I think he's referring to J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, torn ACL first game of the season, scored
Hey,
one touchdown and then went off injured, and that was
Did he
it.
get injured again? I assume he's talking about J.K. Dobbins anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah.
As Ollie, I can't remember because Ollie Phil said it's a Ravens initiation party to running back to get injured at some point.
I'd love to take credit
That
for
was
that.
a-
It was baby.
Dave
That was a
says
baby Hope's zinger, that was.
I mean, even Poe had it last year.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. The Ravens mascot did get injured last year. That's absolutely true.
Tonight's game, Eagles at Seattle. Ian Rappaport had tweeted out about 10 minutes ago that Geno Smith's status is very much doubtful with a groin injury. Does this make this game a lot easier for Philadelphia?
No, because
yeah,
we're not sure that
Eagles
Hurts is
take
going to
now.
play. We're not sure that Hurts is going to play.
Yeah,
either.
last that we heard that he was dealing with like illness and he was traveling with the Eagles separately. In the idea that he didn't want to particularly make his teammates
Infect
sick
anyone.
as well. So his is still questionable. So I don't think it's as open and closed as people necessarily think.
What I heard this morning is that although he does not have the flu, he is suffering from flu-like symptoms and weakness. Although Ian Rappaport did say that he thinks he will play. But, of course, that was not trending. That was just his opinion.
Well, they had a cracking backup quarterback last year. What happened to that guy?
Marcus Mariota.
No, last year.
Well, Mariota's
He's now
been benched by the pick six reindeer. We're talking about an actual quality quarterback that you would absolutely wax off if he was in New England.
Oh God, you'd love him in New England. Yeah,
Oh
Marcus
my
Mariota
God.
is the Eagles' second choice, by the way, second
As if
string.
Boston wasn't hipster enough. Just imagine like all those Bostonians with like handlebar mustaches and mullets.
Cowboy boots.
They would love him. there.
Bostonians a very Irish background, mate. You should get that right.
Well, to be sure. They'll be literally having handlebars.
Phil, let's not commit hate crimes on the show, please.
Jalen Hurts. He got beaten up in last week against you lot.
It was the Cowboys last week. It was us
The
2
last
weeks
2
ago.
weeks. So the last 2 weeks he's been beaten up. The offense isn't obviously as good as it was last season. The rumors are today that Matt Patricia is going to be calling the defensive play calls. God, I feel sorry for them now. Can Philadelphia overcome this, or are they going to literally limp their way into the playoffs? Ollie.
So after the Niners game, the Niners gave a very it was Bosa. He gave a very specific. This is what we did against Philadelphia, and it worked. The Cowboys looked at that and did exactly the same. If Seattle can look at what Bosa said, which is not going for the sack, just looking to contain, if they can do that and implement it as well as both San Francisco and the Cowboys did, the Eagles are going to struggle again. And Hurts needs to sort this out pronto and find out how to beat it. And with Matt Patricia, I don't mind him as a DC. He's a defensively minded coach. He was a shocking offensive coordinator. I'll admit that, but I don't think he's a bad DC. He won
I second that. I was just taking the mic.
Three win with the Patriots.
3 or 4 rings. Or
Yeah,
Dave Game
exactly.
went to Detroit and actually tanked as the head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, defensively he is sound. Patricia is a defensive-minded guru. He learned from one of the best in Bill Belichick, and it works. He had a very good defensive scheme in New England. Yes, it's mainly drawn up by Bill, but he learned from it and he took it and he adapted and made things his own way.
I mean, there's
have a very good secondary and a very good linebacker core. Their front 7 or front 4, I can't can't remember if they run a 4-3 or 3-4 defensive formation, are good, but they're not a sack machine anymore. So they will, if they can, like you said, they can contain it. The DBs are good enough to work on AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. So I think, I reckon it could be a Seahawks upset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just going back to the Dan Campbell, not Dan Campbell. What's his name? The DC we were just talking about.
Matt Patricia.
Yeah, some coaches just are made to be head coaches, but are great coordinators, and I think he's one of them.
Most of them have come under Belichick's tree.
To be fair, the Shanahan tree is coming out.
Yeah.
Now the Belichick tree is rotting from the inside.
I mean,
I think
is there
someone needs to get a
one?
tree surgeon out.
Is there one person from that Bill Belichick coaching tree that's actually succeeded? Did Dan Campbell come from there?
No, he was Sean Payton.
All right, so I mean, the Belichick tree is kind of like, whilst the Shanahan tree, which you can link back to the Bill Walsh tree, because that has all come from the West Coast offense from the 80s. So that's just evolved into like more of a 21st century. But like Bill Belichick came from, who was the Giants coach, like the famous one, not Coughlin,
Bill Parcells.
Parcells.
That's
He
it,
came.
Parcells.
I want to say Belichick came from the Parcells hard-hitting defense tree, didn't he? Because that's where he worked with him in New York for the Jets.
Yeah, and then Parsons went to New England, left, and then Belichick took over Parsons.
Took off
the Jets.
If I'm not mistaken, Peyton also came from the Parcells tree. There's that.
Peyton.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I think
there's.
you may be right.
I thought he came from the Ditka because he came along the same time as Jim Harbaugh when he got drafted to the Bears, and Peyton was a quarterback for the Bears, and Mike Ditka chewed him out, but he went into coaching. I might be completely wrong, but I'm pretty
just thinking
sure.
of that scene in Home Team when Sean Payton calls up Bill Parcells.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And I did read that actually did happen, and that, like, Bill Parcells was his mentor.
Because he was the one who told him to go and take the year off, wasn't he, effectively?
Yeah.
And he also gave him some help.
Some help to beat the Pee Wee football team, yeah.
Right. On Thursday, unless Mr. Harris or Mr. Payne has something very quickly to say.
No.
I'm gonna check our sponsor spot in before we depart for the evening. As it's well aware on the show, we do have a sponsor. First Down Apparel is a sponsor of the Third and Long podcast. Great bunch of guys. They sell all sorts of American sports merch, MLB, NFL, NHL, that sort of thing. So if it's the kind of thing you want to have a look at, links in the description, and you can get a 10% off code as well. Just tell them the boys in the Third and Long sent you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thursday. So our last show before Christmas, we are having a bit of fun. It's a fun show. We're having a plonk cast. Okay.
Yes, the word.
We are going to be in Christmas jumpers, Christmas hats. We've done a not so secret Santa to each other. We'll be.
Well, no one knows what my person's got.
True that. We will be opening our gifts from each other. If you have any questions, NFL related, non-NFL related, about us, Mr. Perrin's sexuality.
Sorry, Jim.
Funny guys, isn't it?
Oh my God.
He is straight and he is married. I am quoting
Oh, I know, right?
We like winding him up. We do it quite a bit. It's just a wind up.
Well, it doesn't even wind me up. It doesn't even wind me up.
That's the whole thing with
It doesn't even wind me up. It doesn't even wind me up.
It winds you up, baby. It does. It winds baby up.
Boys, that's the whole thing with people in the public eye, especially attractive gentlemen like ourselves. The female demographic don't want to know that we have partners because they want to feel like they can sort of tame us. So yeah, we're all single, by the way, just to let you know.
I'm not.
And Shane is a sexual tyrannosaurus.
He's the only one that's single.
I know it.
Was it that way? Mr. Hope's the only one that's single.
No, I can if I want
Do you,
to
know, do you know what we should totally do for Friday? We should set up a Tinder account and set one up for a baby and see if we can get any hits.
be. Merry Christmas, baby.
That's a four. All across the
That'd be
country. We know he likes going to London and Bath.
Yeah,
He does. He gets about. Is our baby? He gets about.
No,
he does.
We
Man.
will
He's the
be back. We
international man
will
of
be
mystery.
back. On Thursday night for our Plonkcast. Put any
Yeah.
questions you want on the feed. I will pin them to our top of our social medias, Facebook and Twitter. We will read them out. Please come and join us on the show. It is going to be a laugh. We are going to have a bit of fun together. That sounds so wrong.
We'll have plenty of these, or at least I'll have plenty of these anyway.
Mhm.
But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you Thursday night. Stay safe as always. Good night.